You know the promise, the one our parents' generation practically lived by. Work hard and you will succeed. But what if that promise is broken? Today, we're going to ask a question that feels a little bit like a betrayal. Is hard work overrated? Let's get right into it.
So, one side comes out swinging with a really jarring claim. They're basically arguing that the core promise we've built our entire lives on, that grinding it out will guarantee a win, isn't just outdated, it's a lie.
And the response is just as fierce. To the traditionalists, this isn't some new reality. It's just a new excuse. It's the kind of thing people say when they've already given up.
And that, right there, is the core of it. The battle line is drawn. See, this isn't about whether you should work late. This is about whether the entire game itself has been rigged against the person who just tries their best.
Okay, so let's break this fight down. It basically unfolds over 5 rounds, and with each one, the arguments get sharper. And believe me, the stakes get a whole lot higher. Round 1. Think of it as brains versus brawn. One side argues that the age of just pure brute force effort is over. They say success today is all about strategy, about finding the right lever to pull. But the other side fires right back. A brilliant plan is nothing more than a daydream without the raw, relentless work to actually make it happen. In round 2, the whole thing gets personal. We're talking about this psychological cost here. Is this whole hard work mantra just a recipe for burnout, pushing all of us to run on a hamster wheel until we collapse? Or is questioning it even more dangerous, a way to give ourselves permission to be lazy and just settle for less? Round 3 is all about the long game. The old promise, right, was that hard work is like compound interest. Your efforts build on each other over a lifetime. But the modern view is pretty ruthless. It asks, what's the point of saving if the bank itself could collapse? In a world where your entire industry can just disappear overnight, is that compounding investment really a safe bet anymore? Round 4 asks a huge question. Who's to blame? When you fail, is it your fault for not working hard enough? Or is just work harder a convenient way to ignore a broken system? A system that might be designed for you to fail no matter how much you hustle. And the final round is about the story itself. Is it even true? One side says, yeah, of course it is. Successful people all credit their hard work because that's what got them there. But the other side? They call this a fantasy. They say we only celebrate the one winner, a classic case of survival bias, and we conveniently ignore the thousands who worked just as hard but are standing outside the spotlight with absolutely nothing to show for it. But after 5 rounds of conflict, the shouting kind of stops, the confidence cracks, and in that silence, both sides reveal this little flicker of doubt. The critic of the hard work myth admits something painful. See, it's easy to have a theory, but it's really hard to watch someone do everything right, follow every single rule, and still end up completely stuck. It's a quiet admission that, for a lot of people, the math just isn't adding up. And the defender of hard work? They have their own moment of fear. What if this whole conversation is just poison? Are we just creating a generation of cynics? Are we convincing people to give up before they even start, and in the process tearing down the one thing that actually builds a society? But the counter-argument to that is just as urgent. What if we're not weakening a work ethic at all, but we're finally dismantling a toxic myth, a myth that has chained people's self-worth to their job titles and their bank accounts, and is quietly destroying them from the inside when the world doesn't deliver on its end of the bargain? And this is where the debate leaves us, not with some neat conclusion, but with a series of really uncomfortable questions. Questions that don't have a right answer, only your answer. The first question is for you. That feeling of being tired all the time. Is it because you're lazy, or is it because you're chasing a finish line that someone else keeps moving further and further away? But then the question flips. If you decide to stop believing in hard work, are you being a realist, or are you just being a coward, too afraid to admit that you tried your absolute best and it wasn't enough? Ultimately, the entire conflict really just boils down to this one thing. Has the social contract we've relied on for generations, that promise that effort leads to reward, has it finally broken? Or is the principle as strong as it ever was, and it's we who have become weak? There is no answer here. There's only a mirror. The final question is yours to live with.
All right, everyone, thanks again for joining us on the Duo Dialogues, and stay tuned for more deep dives coming soon.
See you next time.